Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. A new dawn for silver stackers and investors. Let's explore. Purchasing silver, especially in bullion form, which is what most of us in this community like to get. We like to get our hands on the physical. You know the old saying, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. But there's a lot of different ways to be in the silver space. But nonetheless, what is it about silver that makes it so unique and alluring to people? Well, it has a history. It has a history that goes back thousands of years. But I believe it is one of the most diverse metals that you can find out there. Its uses are broad and far-reaching and ever-expanding. In a sense, we are in a new age as of the 21st century in general. We're seeing a shift from silver being used in developing photos to being used for developing solar panels. The photovoltaic industry is really taking off. In fact, you've heard me talk about it in a recent video, and we'll talk a little bit more about that further in this video. But nonetheless, the physical side of silver only makes up about 25% or so of the silver market. But whenever you do buy it, it is something that you have in your hand that you can hold, that you are risking with the premiums that you pay for the silver. And that is something that cannot be stressed enough, because not only do you have a fluctuating spot price, but you also have fluctuating premiums. And premiums have been fairly high in this new age. This new age and this dawn for silver stacking, especially in the last 2 years, I believe has exponentially taken off, and for various different reasons. Well, number one, we have the pandemic and the big sell-off in the paper silver markets back in March of 2020, when silver literally dropped below $12 an ounce. But good luck finding any silver for under $20 an ounce at that time. In fact, there was a very brief window when I made a purchase of Silver Eagles right around that time, and they were pretty high in terms of their premium. And then it just went up from there. Now, the silver spot price did recover, but the premiums skyrocketed as demand increased for the physical bullion. And in fact, many manufacturers and mints could not keep up with the product. And that brought an explosion in new silver demand around the Western world, really. And I think it's exciting to see new stackers come aboard. So that was in 2020, as people were very nervous about what was going on with the pandemic and the economy. We saw an economic slowdown, rising unemployment and the like, and people needed some stability. Now gold and silver provide that financial stability. And then came the silver squeeze movement that started in February of this year. The silver squeeze movement piggybacked on top of the short squeeze movement against GameStop and AMC. Wall Street Bets forum over on Reddit was sort of foundational for that. And what broke off from that? Well, Wall Street Silver and the silver squeeze, which is a movement that is continuing, though the actual silver squeeze really didn't pan out as fast as they would have liked. It's good to see silver stackers continuing to buy silver and hold on for dear life, because really that's what it's about. Silver is a metal that you hold on for quite a long time. You have to be patient with it. You have to take the flack of the ups and downs in the silver spot price in the paper markets and deal with the premiums. But there are other ways that people are getting into silver. It is fascinating. It is encouraging to see actual new physical silver stackers. Physical, that's the key, I believe, in the ultimate. In fact, I'm going to be talking about other ways that people can get into silver that goes beyond just holding the physical bars, because you can, and do fairly well in holding ETFs as well if you are in the stock market. Now, I believe that anybody who has an ETF should have physical as well, but that's diversification from within one metal. That's right, within silver, you can put your money into ETFs and take advantage of that time. In fact, if you were there in March of 2020, that was the perfect time to buy ETFs. That may have been a much smarter move, because by the time August rolled around of last year, silver was reaching $25 an ounce. You more than doubled your money. You want to talk about an investment strategy? There's an investment strategy. That's why the word investors is in this title, and how you can invest in silver in that way. Now, I don't see holding physical silver as an investment, but I do understand how it can be an investment in the paper markets. Silver is a metal that will continue to shine in many different ways, even from within the sector of the bullion markets. The paper markets, kind of another thing. A lot of people balk at the paper markets, but there are ways to make money there and to preserve your wealth and to hedge as a diversification tool from within silver. I am a bullion guy. I don't dabble in any of the other areas, but I do find it exciting and quite very much a booster to see more and more people getting into silver and other aspects as well, to diversify within their investment portfolio. And that leads us to the sponsor portion of this video about silver's supply and demand is growing with a lot of these markets out there. And I'm talking about Apollo Silver, who narrows the focus down for a new dawn for silver in America, as this company is one of the only ones in the world with a specific business model which offers unique diversification to anyone who wants to be involved in the silver sector in the safest and most stable jurisdictions, and not much competition, which is certainly exciting. In the coming months, the company will be engaged in three main de-risking and value-adding activities. They'll be drilling on projects that the company owns are past-producing silver mines. This means that silver is there, and the value add is in the modernizing and drilling on the project, going deep and using state-of-the-art technologies. Then there will be an NI 43-101 report on the resources. It's going to bring its historical silver resources up to standard code and legitimize the over 100 million ounces of silver the company owns. They've done a whole website renovation, have changed their name from Apollo Gold and Silver to Apollo Silver. They're going in on silver. They're going to also be looking into additional acquisitions to further build its North American projects portfolio. In 10 years of researching and profiling mining companies, I've not seen a junior mining company which has just restructured its entire company just a few months ago and is completely under the radar as this is. The catalyst is the need for silver. And so that demand means that Apollo is at the forefront in North America for discovery. We know the situation. We talked about the photovoltaics and solar panels. Look at this chart, how much demand has increased. 2015 is when I bought my solar panels for my home, and look at how much it has increased over the years here. It is just something else. Apollo Silver has got a great capital structure there that you can see. A lot of it is about the team. And this is one of the most impressive aspects of the company here, I believe. Mining is a business that ultimately succeeds and fails, according to management. So here are some people that will make Apollo Silver the biggest story in the silver sector in 2021 and beyond. We have Andrew Boring, who is the chairman. And since 2011, he had some pretty impressive portfolio of the companies he's been involved with since founding. That includes CapEx Iron Ore Corporation, which is a TSX Venture 50 company, Millennium Lithium Corporation. This is a business that covers through upstream lithium resource development, midstream lithium salt deep processing, among other things. He was involved with M2 Cobalt Corporation, which was purchased by Jervoy Global in a share transaction. Also, Prime Mining Corporation. And so for the junior miners, the best and most lucrative exit strategy is to sell its assets to a bigger company at a premium. And it's kind of what has happened here, which Prime Mining Corporation Andrew founded at a $10 million market cap and now trades at $375 million. So he definitely took that company to a new level. That's a 3,600% move to the upside. He's chairman and founder of Apollo Silver. And that is something that is quite impressive, I believe, to see here. The CEO of Apollo Silver was instrumental for the Robert Friedland organization, was a high level at BHP Billiton, one of the largest mining conglomerates in the world. These type of people here will only join a board and management of a company as an early stage as Apollo Silver if they can make a fortune. And the only way for them to do that is by making the company valuable. It's in their best interest because they're all shareholders. The salaries are negligible. The whole thing revolves around building a big company and exiting with the shareholders. So essentially, it's like we're all in the same boat. They're all coming together for one kind of cause. That is for the health and wealth of the company. And they have a good business model and stewardship that I think is pretty amazing in their timeline and the transformation where they have changed their name to Apollo Silver, concentrated themselves to become the next U.S. mid-tier silver producer. There is that moonshot in some of these areas where they're looking at. Now, they do have some projects here. They purchased some of these projects from Pan American Silver. California is ranked 4th in the U.S. for mineral production in 2020. In 2020, mining contributed to $13.6 billion in gross domestic product. California offers mining companies access to clean power, infrastructure, skilled labor, and transportation networks. The robust environmental and labor laws drive high operating standards for the sector. They've been able to navigate a lot of those, which is great. Several companies of varying size are actively progressing projects in California. Equinox Gold started commercial production at their Castle Mountain gold mine in 2020. For the first time ever, a company is putting two silver projects that are essentially geological twins. So the advantage of one geologist exploring both is a synergistic miracle. The database is unbelievable since the properties are past producers, so the historic data contains insane quantities of information. And we have the combination of the Waterloo and Langtree properties here. We'll get down to that. There's Waterloo and Langtree here. The first time that the two assets have been under common ownership. There's 13,000 acres under control with a combined 3,000 m strike. Mineralization open to depth and a long strike location, well placed relative to infrastructure and a mining friendly jurisdiction. All these check the boxes of potential success for these mines in these areas for discovery. They're about 15 kilometers from Barstow and about 235 kilometers from Los Angeles and Las Vegas, so proximity is certainly key for these sites and how close they are. We can go back up here, we can see in these maps where they are in these areas, how close they are to large cities and infrastructure. Backfill legislation passed in 2002. Synergies, the combination of the two assets, brings together historical data from both of them. And the team at Apollo has compiled a top-tier group of assets with limited previous modern exploration and with considerable upside potential. Both the Calico and Arizona Silver projects sit on large properties with previous work indicating district-scale potential. And knowing that they have a team that has extensive experience in exploration and development across technical operations and financial distributions. A lot of stuff is happening with Apollo right now, and the opportunity is what we call a market cap vacuum, since there are silver companies worth between $102 million, and there are some that are $1 billion plus companies. In between, there are very few. This is what Apollo Silver looks to become. As we close out, what's interesting about this, and I encourage you to do your own due diligence and do your own research on Apollo Silver, but it's fascinating to see what they have done already. They have 102 million ounces of silver. So using the price paid for this project, the price per ounce is an astonishing 40 cents per ounce. That is mind-blowing to think about it. Think of all that headroom of profit. But again, as I always encourage you when I do these profiles, is to do your own due diligence. But what's exciting about this is that it is a new dawn for silver stackers and investors, and Apollo is just another aspect of this that can bring you to another area, another facet to be able to make money on silver as potentially. But it is not without risk. But there's risk in all aspects of accumulating silver. And I believe this is a situation where you can diversify and potentially make some money. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will put a link to their website in the description below. And I want to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe, and extend a multitude of gratitude to you all.